Newly confirmed Secretary of State John Kerry arrived at the U.S. State Department this morning for his first day on the job. Kerry introduced himself to his agency's employees and praised his predecessor, Hillary Clinton. Kerry was sworn in Friday and spent the weekend making connections with leaders around the world.
I want to begin by thanking my predecessor, Secretary Clinton, and I want to thank her entire team. And I just want to join with all of you today in saying to her, job well done. The nation is grateful. The world is grateful. Thank you, Hillary Clinton, and thank you, her team. Thank you. Also want to thank President Obama. I think it is beyond fair to say that this president's vision and what he has implemented through your efforts over the course of the last years, without any question, has restored America's reputation and place in the world. And we thank you for what you have done to do that. Here's the big question before the country and the world and the State Department after the last 8 years. Can a man actually run the State Department?
He's jumping in at a pretty intense moment, I think. We had a bombing of a U.S. embassy in Turkey just last week, so obviously he's got his work cut out for him.
You know, he even making jokes about the fact that this is now an agency that has been run for a very long time by women, asking if a man can even lead the agency anymore. What do you think about that?
I don't think John Kerry is going to have too much trouble, but it is interesting that this is a spot where American diplomacy has really been led by women, and I think that's been important because a lot of the initiatives, at least on human rights issues that we've been the United States, when I say we, I mean the United States, have been emphasizing, have been issues involving women's rights and women leadership positions. So I think that's something that Hillary Clinton's done a very, very good job with in particular. Obviously, I think her predecessors, to the extent that I have criticisms of them, they would not be on that front. So that does change the sort of the face of diplomacy abroad. But I think in terms of policy making, I would expect John Kerry to be pursuing very similar policies to those pursued by Hillary Clinton. We know that Clinton, for instance, has not agreed with the president on a handful of issues, particularly like, say, Syria. She's been more interested in taking stronger action to arm rebels in Syria. But she's gone along with the administration's position when she's been overruled. So I would expect John Kerry to play a very similar role. I think she and Kerry have very similar views, and ultimately the president's views are going to continue to carry the day, whatever they are. He's going to have to react to things that happen very quickly. Like I said, just last week, we had an embassy bombing in Turkey. Turkey's a relatively stable ally in the Middle East. This is not a region, and it's not a country where we see the type of turmoil we see in say, Syria or Egypt in recent years. So there just aren't a whole lot of pockets of stability. I think the Middle East is going to continue to be the primary focus of American foreign policy.